නමෝ බුද්ධාය ගුරු දේවෝත්තම කල්යාණ මිත්‍ර පින්වත් ලොකු ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේගේ ආශිර්වාදයෙන් මහමෙවුනා අසපුවාසී පින්වත් ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේලාගේ අනුශාසකත්වයෙන් පසුගිය සති 8 පුරා ඕස්ට්‍රේලියාවේ අධ්‍යාපනය ලබන ශ්‍රී ලාංකික දරුවන්ට පුංචි සහනයක් දීමට මහමෙවුනා භාවනා අසපුව සහ කැලණි විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයේ ආදි විද්‍යාර්ථීන්ගේ සංගමය එකතු වුණා.
We raised $21,000, over a little over $21,000. We put this food back, which is 2 weeks worth of food, all dry food. That will be able to help one individual 20 times. I'm glad to tell you all that resulted 16,000 individual meals through this beautiful project landed into doorsteps of international students from mainly Sri Lanka. Obviously some other countries as well.
So with the efforts you've done, and I know also acknowledge that the universities have put in $120 million, the state government has too, the federal government $200 million. But can I say, whatever federal or government contributions there are, it cannot be matched by the on-the-ground support you are providing, whether it be just having that conversation with someone who just might need a shoulder to cry on. So thank you so much for what you're doing. This is a long and tough journey. When you look around the world, Australia is one of the world leaders when it comes to our health facilities. In actual fact, we've now got ICU wards are pretty much vacant of patients because we're expecting the worst. And that's one thing, it's always best to plan for the worst and hope for the best. In actual fact, we've done very well. So again, it's a great honour and privilege for me to be here today. And again, I'd just like to thank the Sri Lankan community, the Buddhist community here in Mount Evelyn. I know this is a fantastic centre, and I'm looking forward to, in any way I can, to support this centre here. And I know you have your Safer Community grants, so we'll be looking very close at those. So thanks very much for having us here today.
Our office, from my perspective, from the Consulate General, we represent the government of Sri Lanka, and in a situation like this COVID pandemic, when Sri Lankans here are affected, they naturally turn to us for help, particularly the students who are who become very easily helpless. And we have about 10,000 Sri Lankan students in Victoria alone, according to the figures. So even if a tiny fraction of that is affected, it's not easy for us to help assist them alone. So that is where the assistance, this project by the Kelaniya University Alumni Association and the Mahamevnawa comes in very handy and very helpful. And I do really appreciate Ravi and the team. I'm sorry I'm not naming you all, but I appreciate all of your work.
We're participating in helping our fellow Sri Lankans and other international students. This opportunity has been absolutely amazing. I wasn't part of the group to pack, but I was able to deliver, mostly on the north side. But this experience changed a lot. We were able to talk with people and interact with a lot of the people who were struggling and hear their stories as well. Most of it was just about just hearing what they had to say, how appreciative they were.
Now comes with that, we have to have a friendly conversation with them, since many of these international students are living without their parents, and so we wanted to make them feel less lonely by being able to have a conversation with them. It was definitely upsetting to see them live like this, mainly because they were also the same age as us, so we were able to put ourselves in their perspective and see how life was like through their lens, and it's made us definitely realize how grateful we are and how grateful we should be to have an opportunity like this to live in Australia and receive support from our family members.
When I first took on the job of caretaker of the monastery that I was asked to do by Bhante Bodhi, very smartly, Jason, he provided me with a piece of paper that said, Peter Cameron license registration number is the caretaker of the monastery. And the reason he gave me that is because for me to drive only 3 minutes away from here, I kept getting picked up by the police. What are you doing on the roads? And I said, I'm going to the monastery. Yeah, sure. So I had this piece of paper that I showed them that was signed by the president and shown by Bhante Bodhi that it was official from the monastery that I could travel from A to B. Well, the police picked me up the next day 3 times. They all wanted a photocopy to take a picture of someone who had a piece of paper to say they were a caretaker. So I know my position in this monastery. I am someone who is learning Dharma every day. My job is to keep where I can, to listen to what the people in the community want and do the little bit that I'm doing. But then I come in here and last night I left in tears because I cannot believe the emotion that Sri Lankan people put into what the needs are. And then the thing that really hits me is you don't tell anyone. And I've learned that. And I've learned the solitude of that. And I've learned how honourable that is. And you heard Jason say that the Australian government, state and national and federal, have done so much that they can do. But in the bottom line, when it comes to the little people, the small economy, we have to help ourselves with the direction of the government. Why else would he get out of bed this morning and be here to speak to the small group of people he are? I've learnt that the biggest things in life are the simplest things in life. And people ask me why I come to the monastery. And it's because every time I come here, I get someone, Namek Budaya, and someone who smiles, someone who asks who I am. And you know they never ask for anything. All they offer, and take nothing. I am very pleased to eventually, one day I'll be able to get to Sri Lanka. But I doubt very much that I'll come back. That's my problem. I just really appreciate what you have done for your people and what you have done for the people of Australia. You are Australians. And what you have done for the international visitors and to be able to keep them here and keep them safe, people will not know about this. It will go down in folklore. It will go down in the wisdom that you have been given through the Supreme Buddha.
මම මෙල්බන් වලට එන්නේ මගේ මාස්ටර්ස් වලට. ඉතින් ඒ අවස්ථාවේදී කැලණි විශ්වවිද්‍යාලය මෙල්බන්හි පිහිටි ඇලුමිනි ඇසෝසියේෂන් එක සහ මහමෙවුනා භාවනා අසපුව සහ සම්බන්ධ වෙලා මෙල්බන්හි වෙසෙන අන්තර්ජාතික ශිෂ්‍යයන් වෙනුවෙන් විශාල වැඩපිළිවෙලක් කරගෙන ගියා. ඉතින් ඒ අවස්ථාවේ ශිෂ්‍යයන් අමාරුම අවස්ථාවක් වුණ අවස්ථාවක මහමෙවුනා භාවනා අසපුවේ දායකයන් පිරිස සහ කැලණි විශ්වවිද්‍යාලය ආර්ථික විද්‍යාර්ථීන්ගේ ඇලුමිනි ඇසෝසියේෂන් එක විසින් සංවිධානය කළ වියලි ආහාර බෙදා දීම, දිවාහාර ලබා දීම වැනි පුණ්‍ය ක්‍රියා ඊටම අගය කොට සලකන්නට කැමැති. ඉතින් මෙල්බර්න්හි වෙසෙන සියලුම ශිෂ්‍යයන් වෙනුවෙන් මම මහමෙවුනා භාවනා අසපුවේ සමාජික පිරිස සහ ඇලුමිනි ඇසෝසියේෂන් එකේ සියලුම දෙනාට මගේ හදපිති ස්තුතිය ප්‍රකාශ කරන්නට මේ අවස්ථාවේදී ඉතාම කැමැත්තෙමි. ස්තුතියි.
කැලඹේදු පිවිතුරු හදවත පෑරේදු එම විට පවසෙනු මුවින් පබේ බුද්ධං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි එම විට පවසෙනු මුවින් පබේ බුද්ධං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි බුද්ධං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි ධම්මං සරණං मैत्री